Love to see those scenes. And what, they come into this, who said what, they'd be whipping boys? And don't you just love that when you prove people wrong?
Far from it in that occasion. Don't forget, Portugal took 80-odd minutes to get there first before they beat them 3-0. Well, it sets it up, doesn't it? Germany, Portugal to come this afternoon, and the group of F is living up to its billing.
All to play for. Yeah, and what, Hungary play Germany in their last game as well, don't they, in Munich as well? So, yeah, that's an important game again this evening, later on this afternoon.
Certainly did. Griezmann with the goal, once again in the Euros. He's now scored the same amount of goals as you, Alan, in European Championship. I think you're up in, that's either third or fourth, I'm not quite sure.
Third, I think, yeah.
I think we might have a graphic.
I didn't hear that, Alan, what?
It's been ages since you featured in a graphic.
One of the defenders has got to go and head that. As soon as that ball is allowed to bounce with his pace and strength, they knew straight away that they were in big trouble. And he stops the defender, and we said it at half-time, that once he stands the defender still, because of his ability to move that ball so quickly, it's almost impossible for the defender to stop it, and they don't clear it, and Griezmann sticks it away very nicely indeed.
That ability to move so quickly over a short space is remarkable from Mbappe, isn't it?
Yeah, he's always doing the difference like this. He showed many times with Paris Saint-Germain in Champions League games. It's a small detail, but for France, I think it's good to have a player like this, different profile. Very fast. There's a small opportunity, but
hanging on to third, Gary.
You're still on the list there, Alan. You're still there.
I insisted they put me on the
impressive
bottom
company. Impressive company there, Cristiano Ronaldo, of course. And well, let's remind ourselves about how Hungary took the lead in the first half. Alex, a brilliant counter-attack and a fabulous finish from Fiola.
Fiola, he was a little bit of spark that they had, and they were attacking down this side, but here to get across Varane and know that he can't be touched or it would be a penalty, but the composure at the end to keep your cool, especially with all the fans and you know what it means, and find the space and finish was absolutely sensational from him there. But there's two bits on here. For me, Pavard, it was like hesitant. You need to go touch tight and win that, and then to be able to get across the defender. But Alan, the finish.
It was a superb finish. You know, Pavard didn't play well at all for me today, and I don't think he should have been playing because he was clearly knocked out in the previous game, so I don't think he should have been allowed to play at all. Look at the reaction of the lady there.
I think they're terrified.
She's actually looking away and not sure what's happening.
She's just about to get a half-time snacks.
Very good. Look at the reaction.
Fantastic scenes there, aren't they? I mean, look at the faces, the joy that football can bring. And he's in there somewhere, Fiola. He comes out, and you look at the emotion on his face.
It's everything.
Love that.
Well done. Brief, you need to brief.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah. And these are the scenes at the end of the game in front of a full house. It's been so long since we've seen these kind of images. It's special to see again, isn't it, Eric?
Sorry?
It's very special to see the images of the crowd and enjoying everything.
Yeah, football is bringing joy. I think after this year and a half of pandemic was this atmosphere missing for football in general, and the huge impact that football have in the world.
Exactly. Let's have a look at a few of the French chances. They had plenty of them. We've condensed them into well, the second half chances, because we'd have about 20 minutes otherwise.
Yeah, I'm not sure that was a great chance, but he made the keeper work there. And Dembele coming on. I know he gave the ball away a few times, but this was after a couple of minutes of him coming on, and he stops the defender, and both of them go for it.
Good
post. It must have been an injury when he went off, because he couldn't have put him on and then brought him back off the tackle.
Went close a few times, Alex, didn't they?
It really did, and at times Hungary were really hanging on because France were exploiting them and creating chance after chance. But to come away with a point or something from that game is just huge. And what will France need to do now, Eric?
They need to win. They are a favourite in this competition. Different games. The next one will be very difficult because Portugal is a huge opponent. But they have to make the difference. I think they have to make the analysis of this match, find a better solution, take the decision, the lineup.
Yep. And go from there. Alan, thank you. Alex, thank you. Eric, lovely to see you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I've really enjoyed having you. We'll be back with Spain later. Well, I will. For France, though, it's just a point as Antoine nets it. Goodbye.
France. Portugal, Germany follows. The third of a trio today. Spain, Poland, all exclusively live with us on beIN Sports. With the dust settled then, what do we think
Of
that, what we've just seen?
I think we underestimated Hungary. As I mentioned, they come into the game in really good form. Only one defeat in 11. You know, they were organised. We knew they were going to play a back five. It was going to be a back three, but they were going to drop deep. They were going to invite the pressure, and they were going to try and nick one on the break. And that's exactly what happened. And they got their just reward. I mean, they weren't in it for long periods of the first half. And, you know, France had some really good opportunities.
When we say weren't in it, what actually do we mean by that? Because
they never really offered anything apart from this.
Two elements to the game, aren't there? One is offensively to score, and the other is, and Jan I think will appreciate this, you have to defend well. So being not in it, that's not quite right, is it?
Did they defend well, or did France miss 3 glaring opportunities?
Well, I'm asking you, but to say they weren't in it is
I don't think they were.
They weren't in it as an attacking force.
No, that's
for
different.
The first half. That's different.
Well, they shouldn't have been in it as a defensive force either, because you can say the French weren't clinical. It wasn't good defending, was it? If Griezmann has a real opportunity
there
to score.
Were lapses, granted, but what I'm saying is that we often
at that level,
we underestimate the value of a good defence and that part of the game.
I think it's because probably in modern days now the teams are more organised offensively, and so a few years ago, if you played a game like Hungary did today, you are probably more likely to get away from that, because if you defend it well, disciplined, tight until the end, you may get a draw and even a win in a counter-attack, a corner kick, a free kick. But nowadays the teams are so well organized offensively. They study the opposition. They take every advantage. So it's more likely that if you defend like that, you're going to lose.
But half-time, take the goal away, would their coach have been largely happy with what he'd seen?
Yes.
Would they have delivered his game plan?
Yes.
That was exactly the game plan, and we spoke before,
so
before the game. They were likely, they were open on something like that. But they know that if they play the game against a team like France, they play open, they're going to lose 100%. He probably thought, percentage-wise, that playing this way, he had the more advantage to get a point.
He would have gone in half-time and he would have said to his centre-halves and his full-backs, listen, you can't let them create 3 chances that they've just done, because we will get punished in one of them. We will. You can't do that. So he's going to work on his back four. So in that sense, they haven't played that well, have they?
No.
If he comes in and it's a clean sheet and they haven't created anything, France,
be opportunities,
and they're organised,
but I think
not opportunities
in the
like
main,
that.
I think he will have felt his team had done well.
They got in at half-time fortunate.
Thank you. Count
the score lines.
Yeah.
Two big misses from 2 top strikers enabled them to go in at half-time. You're always in the game if it's 0-0 or if it's 1-0. But like, you know, Scotland yesterday, always in the game at that 0-0. I said to you, if we get to half-time.
No, I'm looking to try to give those teams that haven't got the ability to express like the top side some credit for the way they approach football.
We always give them credit. We always give them credit. It's a bit like, but one of the worst games I've seen, the poorest ones I didn't enjoy, not the worst I've seen. A team gave a fantastic defensive performance, Sweden, against the Spanish.
Yeah, Spanish, yeah.
They were fantastic, but did I enjoy watching it? No. I really didn't.
But I didn't enjoy the game. Fortunate though at times. I mean,
they were. Maratta should have put well lead. But that's what I'm saying is, so they rode the luck, and they got a 0-0 out of it, in a game where they never looked like winning. What I would say about Hungary today, at least when they had the football, the little times they did, or the few times, they did go and try and make something from it. Sweden didn't. Sweden just sort of said, we're just going to sit back here and let Spain have the ball, and if we can get through 90 minutes at 0-0, that'll be great. They didn't quite do that. And I don't like to see Sweden are better than that. They should have been able to do something offensively, but they did nothing. I thought Hungary at least tried to go forward. Even in the second half when they were 1-up, if they had the football, they tried to go forward.
We remember watching Greece, Andy, in Portugal, going all the way to the final and winning it.
They won it. I know.
Like that.
Scored 6-7 goals, I think, and won the tournament. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah. And I think Jose Mourinho, he would always tell you that the best defence, if it goes into a final, the best defence will win it. not the best attack. Took into Milan all the way and won it with them, with the best defence in the tour. And Portugal, you know, the best defence will often. I know he's not going to agree with me because it's offensive.
No.
But you know what I'm saying?
Agree with
Do you know what I'm saying, Jan? It's much harder if you're organised. And defenders are so much well organised now. You know, they're so disciplined and it's so hard to... We've seen it already. Really top forwards and midfield players trying to break down organised defences in this tournament and the difficulty they've had. So you can't blame... Jan's right. If they go and say, right, we're going to open up, we're going to play 4 at the back and we're going to attack...
It's not going to work.
They'll get beat 6-2. But we'll all have enjoyed it.
Andy, I got to say, I agree with you. I wanted to say, yes, you can defend, but you cannot you cannot do all the time defend in your own 20 meters.
Correct.
Because nowadays,
pressure,
yes, you are inviting the pressure. And nowadays, the teams now they know how to open a defense that is defending the last 20 meters. You have to be good at defending to win something. And I agree with Andy, but you cannot defend for 80 minutes in your own 20 in the last 20 meters. You have to defend higher on the pitch. Then you can succeed.
That's the proof in that is when. You're winning 1-0 or it's 0 and you're hanging on. The natural instinct is to drop deep, isn't it, onto the edge of your box. Definitely. And you just try and close the ranks, you try and play narrow, you try and defend the crosses. But how many times do you see it where that doesn't happen? I mean, Denmark really did it, and they just got opened up. Hungary, the last 7 minutes of the game against Portugal, they defended really, really well, but they got opened up because you're inviting the pressure.
Different, Jan, is the game to the one that you played in your career? Because I said yesterday that the night you scored at Wembley, I knew England were losing that 1-0.
Did you?
It was inevitable because the Italians do that or did that better than anybody else.
Defend.
Yes, and then you have to say, well, that is an art form. As much as it's frustrated me today, you have to admire that.
Do you change your tactics when you go 1-0 up? Do you change tactics as an Italian team then, or do you just carry on?
No, we just carry on. It naturally came. It came natural for us after we scored to drop deeper and try to defend. But Italians in those days to defend in the last 20 meters were the best in the world because in the man-to-man marking nobody was as good as us. That's what I have to say. But again, I repeat, nowadays it's different because in those times the teams didn't know how to attack a close defense. They didn't know. They didn't have the organization that they have now. Now the teams, you know, if you defend against Manchester City, for example, forgive me, and you defend in the last 20 meters, they know how to open the space because they can pass the ball in a square meter, and they can go through in a square meter. They are so good in doing that. But
also they defend in offensive areas, don't they, by pressing so high up.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that's what we've discussed, is it not, once or twice already, and I think we will when we see them again. But that Mancini now has got your team defending in the opposition half.
Yeah.
Well, look, great. I was just about to mention that example. Italy has scored 6 goals and conceded none. All right? But not only in this game. It's in the previous game the same. He scored many goals and didn't concede. It's not that they're not defending. They're defending very well, but they changed the way they defend now. They're trying to defend by pressing high, by having the strikers putting pressure on the opposition defenders, on the opposition midfielder. By doing that, they're giving a lot of relief to our defence.
Are all Italian coaches doing that, Jan? I mean, what I'm saying is, you know, Mancini has a time in the Premier League. He must have learnt things from this time in the Premier League with City.
Sure.
You know, guys like yourself, like Conte, has it Interside win the title. But I'm sure they didn't win it playing defensive football.
No.
You know,
this is what I was saying to you before, Andy. This is what I was saying to you before. I think as an international manager, if your team's predominantly made up of the best players, and most of the best teams, like Portugal, for instance, they're 11 unbeaten, they've got 8 clean sheets, but they press high up, they'll play really high, they'll play on the halfway line, and they'll press and they'll win the ball in the final third, and they've got such good quality in Ronaldo and Fernandes, and they score goals. And that's why I think sometimes international managers, they look at the club teams that their players are coming from and they think, we're going to play like that. That's how we're going to play. We're going to press high. They don't change their tactics. They play like a club team. And Italy kind of do play like a club team.
Okay, answer me another question then. The football is played the right way if a team amasses in advance of 500 passes on the afternoon. Why is it then, when teams like France today are in trouble, the keeper will put his foot through a ball and the outcome is goal?
No, Richard, it's not that it's played the right way. The beauty of the game is
I say that with Sallai. That's what we're always
I
told.
Understand.
Look at this.
Because he's seen a
From back to
2-on-2.
front.
He's seen a 2-on-2 situation.
Yeah.
That's what he's seeing.
It's fair enough what you say, but the beauty of this game is that it can be won in different ways, okay? And the beauty of it more is that if you are intelligent players, you have intelligent players on the pitch, like in that case the goalkeeper has been very clever. You can mix the game. Sometimes you have to play like that. Sometimes you be direct.
He's been very clever. If Sam Allardyce had been in charge of the French team this afternoon,
No.
and his goalkeeper had done that,
But we've seen Alisson do it.
But
We've
I-
seen Ederson do it.
Yeah, I guarantee you.
No, it's not like that.
I guarantee you, there's a difference here, Rich. I guarantee you, had France been 1-0 up, Lloris wouldn't have done that.
no chance.
Oh, I don't know, you know.
He wouldn't have done it.
I
At
don't
1-0
know.
up, he'd have caught that ball. I'm telling you, Jace, he'd have caught the ball and he'd have just said, right, calm.
Do you think?
Yeah, no need to chase
Even though
a
he's
goal.
seen the situation,
Well,
and the
he's
quality he's
2v1,
got,
isn't
a 2v2 there.
2v1.
I mean, you see Alisson do it. Remember the Alisson one where he just pings
Oh,
it to
yeah,
Sallai?
they do that, yeah.
Ederson do it. But
Well,
they
sure,
see the
sure,
situation.
That's clever
But I
play.
think,
But that's-
it
like,
depends
that's
on the
clever
game.
play.
You're chasing a
Well,
goal.
if Big Sam's teams do that, then he's a dinosaur.
Yeah, but Sam does it all the time.
Well, no,
Like
he
the keeper
doesn't.
does
That's
it
wrong.
all the time.
You see, that's also unfair.
That's a good point. He has a good point.
But he doesn't.
No, he doesn't do it all the time.
Sam,
That-
no,
that's-
what Sam
that's really
will
unfair.
do, Sam will work on percentages. So the percentage of you put it into an area and winning the second ball, he'll work on that. So he'll have an overload of players. And that's why you'll see the keeper, he'll give it one of them, and all the players they move across, and then the keeper kicks it into that area.
This tournament late on, long throws. Heaven forbid, long throw.
Yeah.
But they work on them now.
It works.
Listen,
I'm
has seen a
I'm
2-on-2
watching
there.
Jordan Pickford put his foot through the ball and launching it 80 yards up the football pitch, playing for England. That's okay.
What's going through your mind, Jan?
No, is that I disagree in one thing. It's not that it's wrong to take long throws. It's not that it's wrong to have long direct balls and go for the second balls. In my opinion, it's wrong to do only that thing.
Only one thing.
All the time.
Because if you do that, you are predictable. And the last thing that you want to be on the pitch is be predictable. If you are predictable, you are dead. Even if you are France and you are the best team in the tournament right now, if you do the predict things, the opposite, if I'm not the opposite, I will be the whole week, every day preparing for you, and I'm going to make it difficult for you, even if you are France.
I think Liverpool become predictable. Jurgen played 4-3-3, he become the best at it. We won the league, we won the Champions League. And I know you can throw in COVID and no crowd and the emotion and the injuries, you could throw all that in, but I do think he become predictable. And when what he did with Jota, he changed the formation, he went 4-2-3-1. He didn't play 4-3-3.
That's Jason.
He changed it. He changed the formation. He didn't become predictable.
Yeah.
He was so good at it, but teams figured it out.
That's why
I think
Jason.
it'll be 4-3-3 next year again, don't worry.
Yeah, he might do, yeah.
That is why Jason, during the years, is not only the same way of playing football, is the winner.
So why do we
changes, no?
drool when Manchester City play in the manner that they do, 9/10 of the time, and we condemn when those who don't have the same tools as Guardiola find a different way?
Do we? Do we condemn?
All the time.
Who do we
don't
condemn?
like to see agricultural football.
Well, no.
I've just mentioned one name.
No, I know. Listen,
That's a good point.
Different
when
ways to
people
skin a
say
cat, isn't
they
it?
play football the right way, the simple fact of the matter about football is there is no right and wrong way to play football. There are various ways to play football. And if you can amalgamate them all, as Jean was alluding to there, into your way of playing, but don't forget, 3 people could be sitting here and have absolutely different views on how the game should be played and how they would want it to be played if they were coaches. And that's what makes the game beautiful.
Yeah.
It's not that we all sit here and agree about who they like to watch. I'm sure Jean likes watching football different from me. I'm sure there's games that I would like to watch, and Jean would go, I'm not fancy that. And games he would like, she would watch a game and go out and drool about it, and I'd go, it's not exciting me, but that doesn't make one of us right and one of us wrong. You know, it just makes us both able to watch this game where you have a blank canvas, every coach has a blank canvas to implement what he believes or how he believes the game should be played. And it's, I think the reason Italy have changed is because it's Mancini, nothing else. I think Mancini says, I want to play this way with Italy, so I'm going to play the two best defenders I've got. You can defend, the rest of us, we're going to win a football match. And that's, you know, if it was, I was going to say Penfold, I can't believe I was going to say that. If it was, sorry.
Penfold is Mighty Mouse's assistant.
Yeah.
He looks a bit like Maurizio Sarri.
Sorry, Maurizio Sarri. But if Maurizio Sarri was